Hey Greenbelts, and welcome to the exciting world of sparring. You're getting in the game today. What we're going to discuss in our orientation is how to put on our pads in the fastest way possible, gear that you should already have on as you arrive to class, some basic sparring manners, and also some fundamental rules. Let's get started. Sparring manners. Your highest rank between the two partners should delegate the match by doing what's called the first technique. So when you bow in at the beginning of your match and get into sparring stance, when the instructor says go, that's when the highest rank is going to reach out and say first technique. That's delegating the kind of power and intensity that we're going to enjoy in that sparring match. Also, if we're feeling frustrated or your partner looks frustrated, take out your mouthpiece. Let's take a breath. And then if our partner accidentally falls down, it's appropriate to help them up, to bow, to get into sparring stance, and then continue. There's 4 basic rules that we use to have a great sparring match, every sparring match. Rule number 1, guard up, body sideways. This is gonna reduce the amount of target that's facing your opponent, and it's also gonna set you up for great blocking abilities. Rule number 2, we're gonna have offense and defense, making sure that we split our focus on blocking their techniques, defense, as well as attacking our opponent with kicks and punches. Rule number 3, when we attack, let's attack in threes. So you don't want to be a one-hit wonder. Pow. We're going to do at least 3 techniques before we finish our offensive stride. Rule number 4, we're going to turn our back to 4 walls. As we're sparring, we want to be able to move laterally and forward direct and back. Here's a fun home practice tip for sparring. If you're practicing rule number 1, you can set a timer for 30 seconds and simply practice moving with your guard up, practicing some of your middle blocks, your low blocks, and then moving into rule number 2, having offense and defense, set another timer. Guards up, light feet, and let's practice with an offensive attack and then a defensive attack. Offensive attack and defensive attack. Then set another timer for 30 seconds. Let's practice rule number 3, attacking in threes. You can attack in the same 3, such as front kick, punch, punch, or you can vary it up and do a block 1, 2, 3 afterwards. All right, and rule number 4, turning our back to 4 walls and implementing attacks. So much fun. Parents, if you want to get involved, you can reach in, slap box with your child, and have them get in those blocks. Okay, let's get our pads on. When we come to class, we want to arrive with our elbow guards and our shin pads already on. We won't put those on in the middle of the class. When the instructor says it's time to put our pads on, that's when we're gonna put on everything else. Let's get to it. The first thing we want to put on is our mouthpiece. Let's keep our mouthpiece in the small pocket of your gear bag. That way it's easy to get to. You take it out of the case, pop it in, put our case back in. The second thing we want to notice is that I'm keeping my punches inside my helmet. The reason that I pack those inside my helmet is because it keeps the shape of the helmet and doesn't let the helmet get squished. That way it fits the most comfortable it possibly can. All right, so now it's time to get these on. The first thing that I'm gonna put on is either the foot pads or the helmet. The last thing I'm gonna put on is our hand pads because we can't have stuff on our hands and expect to be able to move very fast. So when we get our feet pads on, the right side, for larger feet like mine, have got an angle up towards the big toe. So just remember that, angle up towards the big toe, and we slip that on. We're gonna make an X with this strap where I go top, underneath, and top. Then I hook it back there to the back with that Velcro. So we have our X. Same thing with the left side. The slant just under the big toe is pointed up towards the big toe. Now we take our strap on top, underneath, and on top again, making that X. Then we'll put on our helmet. And lastly, our hand pads. Then we want to make sure that our back is all the way against the wall so that nobody trips. And finally, care of our gear. The better we take care of it, the longer it's going to last. With these, our shin guards and our elbow pads, and our speed gloves, we can toss these into the laundry, I would say at least once a week. Then with this material, our helmet and our punches and our kick pads, you simply take a Lysol wipe, which we actually provide for you here, and take it on the inside, keep it nice and fresh, along with the foot pads and the hand pads. Personalizing your gear will help you keep track of it if it is lost. We have silver Sharpies at the front desk for your use. Also, gear bags can all look alike. So, taking some bracelets, a name tag, a little stuffed animal, something that's gonna make you find it fast. We hope you guys are as excited as we are about getting in the game of sparring. Look for our next video of basic targeting, blocking, and offensive striking.